welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing some DIY home decor projects using scrap materials and dollar store supplies. Thank you so much for coming along. For the first project, I'm using some scrap wood to make a wood riser to use in my kitchen decor. I took a scrap 1x4 board and cut it down to about a foot in length, and then used a scrap 2x4 to make the legs for it. Then I sanded the pieces down and stained them. First I used a special walnut stain, and it wasn't as dark as I had hoped, so I then used a can of Jacobian stain, and that really added the rich depth that I was going for. After wiping off the excess stain, I sprayed it down with some varnish, and that was it for this simple project. For the next project, I was trying to recreate a scalloped pot that I had seen on some high-end decor websites, but at a very affordable price. I took an old nursery pot and wiped it down, and then started drawing on my scallop detail. I put an elastic around the top of the pot to use as a base for where to draw my scalloped edges and make sure they were all lined up and even. Cut them out and then use some hot glue to thicken the edges. I sprayed it down with some bronze spray paint. For the last project, I took a dollar store mirror and did my best to turn it into a vintage looking antique mirror. To do this, I took the glass out and sprayed it with a part vinegar, part water mixture. Just a few quick spritzes of this did the trick. And then immediately after that, I used a mirror spray paint and sprayed the whole thing down. Let it dry for a few hours and then came back with a paper towel and dabbed it to make sure all of the excess vinegar water mixture was off of it. And then I took a black spray paint and sprayed directly over top of that mirror spray paint that I had already sprayed on. The mirror finish on the glass goes on the side opposite to what you sprayed on. This project doesn't give a full mirror effect, but enough just to make it a good layering piece for decorating with. I took the gold frame and buffed on some watered down black acrylic paint to give the frame more of an aged look. I'm using this as a layering piece in my decor. I have it placed on my hutch behind some other items to add some depth and a bit of shine mixed into this little vignette. completes today's DIY projects. I hope that you enjoyed them and are able to get crafty and work on a DIY yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!